There is an old saying in Nigeria: when you are dining with the devil, use a long spoon. But some men are so hungry, so blinded by the shine of gold, that they try to eat from the devil's own plate with their bare hands. This is the story of Femi. He was a young man who believed he was a hunter. He believed the city was a buffet and people were just meals waiting to be devoured. But Femi forgot the most important rule of the jungle. There is always a bigger beast.
Yeah.
Listen closely. This is what happens when ambition outruns wisdom. Femi was what the street calls a big boy. A man who preys on older women. But in reality, he was a parasite in a designer suit. He didn't build, he extracted. He specialized in the lonely wives of Victoria Island and the bored heiresses of Lekki. He had a system, cold and efficient. Find the vulnerability, fill the void, secure the assets, and vanish before the emotions got messy. He looked at love and saw a transaction. He looked at women and saw ATMs. And when we talk about women, we talk about rich women. He moved through the VIP sections of Quilos and the beaches of Elasher like a king. He thought he was untouchable because he lacked a conscience. But arrogance is a blindfold, and Femi was walking straight into a pit. Then he saw Alero. She wasn't his usual prey. Madam Alero was older, sharper, draped in the kind of silence that only comes with immense wealth. She sat at an art auction in Ikoyi, looking at the world with tired, heavy eyes. Femi saw a lonely widow. He saw a vacancy sign on a mansion in Banana Island. He saw his biggest payday. He approached her with his practiced charm, the smile that had opened a dozen bank vaults. She didn't giggle, she didn't blush. She looked at him the way a spider looks at a fly that has just landed on its web, with patience. "You have ambition," she told him, her voice low. "But you look hungry." Femi thought he had hooked her. He moved into her house within a month. He drove her G-Wagon. He accepted the title of business associate. He thought he was the one holding the leash. He didn't feel the sick thread wrapping round his ankles. Greed makes a man stupid. It makes him mistake a cage for a castle. Alero began to give him things, but she didn't give him cash. She gave him liability. Femi asked for millions. She gave him a plot of land in Epe. He felt powerful holding the deed. Then he asked for a watch. She opened a corporate account in his name and funded it with 50 million naira. Femi felt like a CEO. "It's for our future," Madam Alero whispered. And Femi, drunk on his own ego, signed every document she put in front of him. He didn't read the fine print. He didn't ask why a woman with her connections needed his signature. He thought he was building an empire. In reality, he was digging his own grave. The control started slowly. She dictated his clothes. She restricted his movement. When he tried to leave for a weekend of debauchery, her armed guards turned him back at the gate. When he screamed that he owned himself, she simply handed him an iPad. The land in Eper, stolen government property now in his name. The corporate account, heavily leveraged with loans he was personally responsible for. Femi wasn't her partner, he was her shield. He was the fall guy she had been fattening up for the slaughter. A wiser man would have run, a wiser man would have begged, but Femi was proud. He decided he could outsmart a woman who had survived Lagos politics for 30 years. He planned to blackmail her. He knew she kept a physical ledger in her bedroom safe. Then he decided to steal it, leverage her secrets, and demand his freedom. For 2 weeks, he played the submissive servant. He cooked, he bowed, and he waited. He watched her type the code 190884. The birthday of her son who had died 10 years ago in a car crash. Then Femi thought this was his ace, a tragic mother hiding her secrets. But he didn't realize that in Alero's world, tragedy is just another tool to be used. The night the storm broke over the Atlantic, Femi made his move. He drugged her wine, or so he thought, and crept into the master bedroom. He opened the safe, expecting to find the larger of her crimes, but instead he found a stack of passports. Femi looked at the passports, he looked at the names, then he opened the file underneath them. It wasn't a police report, it was a medical dossier. Detailed blood work, tissue typing, HLA compatibility scores. He saw his own name, Femi Adebayo, and next to it, a matching rating, 98% match. He flipped the pages. He saw a flight itinerary booked for tomorrow morning, Lagos to New Delhi, India, one way. You really should stop digging, Femi. He spun around. Alero was standing in the doorway. She held her wine glass, looking at him with the soft, pitying expression one gives to livestock before a feast. What is this? Femi's voice shook. Why do you have my medical records? I never went to a hospital for you. Don't you remember the checkup? She asked softly. For the life insurance policy attached to the company. You signed everything. You gave blood, you gave urine, you gave us access. You think you are here because you are handsome? Alero laughed, stepping closer. My dear boy, handsome men are cheap in Lagos. I can find a model at the gym in 10 minutes. She tapped the medical file. But a universal donor with all negative blood, with young alcohol-free kidneys and a healthy liver, that is rare. That is a luxury. Femi backed up until he hit the cold metal of the safe. Wait, you want to sell my parts? He asked, frightened. Sell? She looked offended. No, Femi, we don't sell. We consume. She gestured to the hallway. My brother has been on a dialysis list for 3 years. My business partner needs a partial liver transplant. The wait lists in Europe are too long, and in Nigeria, well, you know how hard it is to find clean goods. She signed, taking a sip of wine. You wanted to be useful, Femi. You wanted to be part of the family. Well, tomorrow, a part of you will be. And the day after that, another part. I will scream, he whispered. I will run. And go where? She asked. You signed the consent forms. It was buried in the loan agreement for the land in Epe. Legally, you have volunteered for a medical tourism trip to India as a donor. If you run, the police will arrest you for the 200 million naira debt you owe my bank. You go to Kurikuri, where you will rot for free, or you get on the plane, you save a life and wipe your debt. Now, that was 6 months ago. Femi is back in Lagos now. You might have seen him. He doesn't drive the G-Wagon anymore. He doesn't go to Quilos. He lives in a small poor room in Yaba. He walks slowly, hunched over like an old man. His skin is pale, he is always tired, he can't drink alcohol, he can't eat spicy food. He spends 3 days a week at a dialysis center because the procedure in India, well, they took a little more than they promised. He didn't get the money and he didn't get the fame, but he's alive. Sometimes he sees Madam Alero's convoy pass by on the Third Mainland Bridge. He sees young men in the black seats, laughing, snapping selfies, feeling like kings because they found a rich sugar mommy. Femi wanted to shout. He wants to warn them, but he wants to tell them that she isn't looking at their faces. She is looking at their vitality. She's stripping them down for spare parts. But he stays silent because in this city, nobody listens to a poor man with a broken body. They say health is wealth, and the rich, they will do anything to stay wealthy.